Welcome back to our Maximus travels, and thank you for checking out the channel and our custom rig. In this video, we show part 1 of our travel from Idaho through Nevada and back to the shop. For us, a wildly wonderful journey includes seeing nothing but the landscape. Now I had a couple extra nights to play with and decided on a trail route, sending us off pavement for over 100 miles. I can't claim we are overlanding, as the trail was really a long stretch of gravel and then a maintained forest road. However, the effect was the same. We counted on one hand the number of other vehicles we passed, and we found complete solitude at our evening campsites. As I mentioned, this is part 1 of 2 covering our route and wild camping finds before we return to the shop. First stop was the Bruneau Canyon Overlook. It's the only accessible location to view the wild and scenic Bruneau River. This rugged canyon was created by centuries-old glacier melt and volcanic activity and is also called the Grand Canyon of Idaho. We soaked in the views and then headed on our way. As we left the Overlook, Google Maps navigation attempted to route us off on an old, unused trail. Fortunately, I had my offline trail map, and we ended up following the trail map on my phone instead. This was just the beginning of multiple maps problems observed. Following our offline trail map was the only way we successfully and smoothly arrived at our camp that night.
Scared me. I know. So how'd it feel to use that horn? Amusing? It's like the first time you've got to use that. On me? No. No.
You didn't jump?
I did jump.
Yeah.
The cow jumped higher though.
So really,
Yes.
The cow moved.
The cow moved. As fast as a cow's gonna move, it moved.
Exactly.
So we're about 40 minutes out from where we're camping, and we're headed right over there, down the canyon.
Doing?
This table and the whole camper got really dirty when we were traveling on that road. Look at how thick that dust is. So I'm gonna clean the table off so we can eat on this. campground we are at is called the Forks. And it's the Forks because this is where the Bruneau and Jarbridge rivers converge. What's really cool about the area is this is actually a major boat ramp area. Boat ramp. Raft. Kayak. So I imagine in summer this is a really neat place to go. There are 2 other campgrounds before ours up on the road. The Jarbridge Recreation Area is the starting point of a very long water trail. There's a map on site, and I'll show a clip of that in a moment. The recreation area here is just across the road from the Forks campground. It does have a vault toilet, a couple fire pit tent sites, and some additional parking. It's well built out for raft staging and launching with easy water access. I did notice on Google Maps that there is a river guide business back in Murphy Hot Springs, which we passed coming into camp. So this is where we're at camping. And this water trail is a total of 69 miles. So this is the first half. And then what the map shows us over here starts back down here at mile 27 and then goes all the way up. And what's interesting to note is this is where we kind of started our journey. Well, we started up here. We went over to visit the Overlook, and then we drove this road all the way down to get to our camp area. River rafting is something I would like to try, just not sure I'd choose this trail as my first trip. When I reviewed the map, it's mostly class 3 and 4 rapids.
It's confession time again. All is not unicorns and rainbows with Maximus and our travels. We're winding down the end of the trip, and we thought we'd take a little 140-mile gravel road through Idaho and Nevada on our way home. It was a very interesting road. We'd done similar things before, but this time we had Maximus and we were towing the Jeep on a gravel road, which is the first time we've done that. I knew that with the old Lance camper with the long overhang it would protect the Jeep windshield from flying rocks. This time I actually knew it was a concern, and absolutely turned out to be. After the first day of driving, we noted we had about 4 or 5 rock chips on our Jeep windshield, which was very disappointing. So the second day we ended up driving separately, which of course eliminated that problem, but now I have windshield cracks to repair, and not happy about that. So Maximus is going to get some mud flaps in the very near future to prevent this occurrence, and it's just part of creating a large free departure angle underneath of the camper that allowed the rocks to fly off the wheels into the Jeep.
We cannot be accused of rushing through the morning, but eventually we headed out driving separately. As navigator, Jeep and I took the lead, and day 2 of this trail was very scenic. We continued following the canyon some and then drove up into some stunning views. Yes, we still have not passed a soul. By the time we cross into the Humboldt forest area, it's definitely time for a lunch break, and there were not any pull-offs to be found. Eventually we intersected with another forest road and there was a place to park. And we finally crossed paths with another vehicle, so now we know the world hasn't ended and we can enjoy our lunch. trail ended just before the state recreation area and appeared to be a loading area for horses or OHV equipment on BLM land. Once we arrived, I saw a few rigs next to the reservoir further down the highway and decided to check the area out before settling in. Turns out it was designated dry camping and is still part of the fee camp areas. So as we headed back, we noticed a few dirt routes heading down to the water, but outside of the state recreation area, and decided to explore those. There were just a few dispersed sites found at the end of a bumpy and rocky road, which would be no issue for the rig. So we returned to fetch Maximus and Cooper and made our way into the spot for the evening. This turned out to be a lovely change from the roadside parking lot, and we enjoyed a scenic evening with just the geese for company. Although we did observe annoying bugs outside the window, they were not irritating when we were outside, which was most likely due to the time of year that we were here. The following day, we get up and continue through Nevada and visit a couple more dispersed camp areas, which we'll show you in part 2 of this video. Until then, thank you for joining us and checking out our custom camper and travels. We will be sharing our upcoming travels along with any camper mods here. We greatly appreciate hearing from you, especially getting questions on our rig Maximus. If you are a fellow truck camper owner or RVer or van lifer, it would mean the world to see that click to like and a comment posted below. And if you're setting up your rig, renovating, or just enjoying the journey, click the subscribe button to follow our continued progress and travels in this new rig. We hope to see you out on the road, and good luck with your working and exploring.